It's 5 o'clock, which means we're live. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome my beautiful, beautiful model, Miss Rachel, who flew in today and arrived here just to give us all a very, very special class. Rachel, say hi.
Hello.
I am going to let her talk about her story for a minute so you guys can get accustomed to why we're here, why we're watching this, and what we are raising the money for. This is obviously a free class to those of you who just signed up for Dress Your Face Live. Thank you so much for signing up, whether you went for the free trial for today or whether you went for the full-on membership. We are very thankful for that so that you can see what we're all about today. And we do have a donate button right on the same page that you're at right now. And our goal is to raise money for the Children's Alopecia Project, which is very dear to Rachel's heart. So I'm going to step aside so that she can talk to you guys about her story in case you haven't read it online yet, which I'm sure you have, but I love to hear it in person. So I'll let her talk, and then we'll talk for a few minutes together, maybe take some questions. I made a post on my Instagram page, the latest post on my Instagram page, which is the behind the scenes of Rachel and I from right now. I literally just posted this. That's where you're going to leave your questions for us, because we're going to answer some questions, makeup related or alopecia related or anything related. We will answer some questions before we get started and after we end the amazing class we're going to do. So go ahead, Rachel.
I'm still jaw-dropped that I'm like sitting here, and I'm like so excited to be sharing a bit of my story, as well as helping a lot of you that have the alopecia that have reached out to me over the last year or two on my Instagram since watching my journey with myself, as well as my daughter who's 8 years old that has endured the same alopecia condition as I do. I have alopecia universalis. 4 years ago I had all my hair, everything was totally normal, and then over the course of the next year and a half, 2 years after the 3 years, I lost everything. It was completely devastating, and about maybe 6 months to a year after going through mine, my 8-year-old went through the same fate, and it was hard trying to find ourselves, finding our place, finding the acceptance in our new condition, and as well as finding some ways to help my confidence be brought back. I was at Sephora one day, and a representative there helped me find Anastasia, and the brow line that they found was completely helpful in mine. And a lot of people have asked me over the last year, how do you do your eyebrows, how do you do your makeup? And I honestly don't know. I'm a mom of 3, I'm not a makeup artist, I'm not a professional, but I definitely wanted to help teach other people. I just didn't know how. Enter Tamana, and we found each other via social media, and I'm now here somehow in her hot seat and able to basically share her beauty tips and anyone that has any other further questions about how to dress your face.
Aww. It was just such a beautiful way how we connected, because like I mentioned this on my post that I read all of your comments as much as I can. Sometimes when there's a lot of comments, it won't let me go back to the beginning comments. So sometimes I miss a lot of them, or sometimes I just kind of, glance through them, but it's not often that I'm able to see who is writing each comment. And so when she commented, it was on Christina Million's before and after picture, and she commented, "Oh, I wonder what you would do on my blank canvas." And it just struck a chord with me. Like, I don't know what it was, but the words blank canvas, it's something that every makeup artist dreams of, right? Like, to create out of something that you can play with infinite possibilities. So I wanted to see what she meant by that. So I went to her page and I just fell in love with her immediately. Something just drew me to her, and when I found her, it was like the heavens were calling. It was this very dramatic moment. So, I got really excited. I showed my husband. I'm like, oh my God, look who commented on my page. I really want to reach out to her. So I DM'd her, and like late at night, she woke up and she saw it.
Yeah, like 3 o'clock in the morning,
yeah.
I woke up, I was hungry as I normally am. And I was eating and then just going through my phone as I normally do. Moms tend to go on their phone when they can't sleep. And I just saw a direct message and it said from Dress Your Face. And I was like, huh? Hold on a second. Then I opened it up and I'm just like looking at it like, who? She wants me to come on her show. Huh. Okay. Yep. We're going for it.
I was so glad you saw the message. I'm like, what if she just doesn't even open it? Because I don't really open DMs unless, you're following each other, right? That's when you can see the DM. But if I'm not following the person that DMs me, I don't see the DM. So I was wondering, I'm like, oh God, I hope she sees this. And she did, and she replied so fast. I was so excited.
And just so some of you know, I have never been on a plane before. Today was my first time flying a plane. I was a little nervous, but all your comments and all your love, especially I was even the last week considering, like, I don't know if I could do this, but, all of your guys' inspirational comments and love and support and the way, some of the stories that I've heard, it got me through that flight.
I'm so happy. I am so happy you're here, and I'm so happy that all of my viewers were able to fall in love with you the way I did, and that they are now showing love to your page. So thank you guys for, first of all, giving us such high spirits about this class and giving us so much more motivation to make this class happen for all of you out there. And even those of you who aren't suffering from any hair loss, it's good to know some of these tricks, so that when you do have a client that is suffering from hair loss, you know what to do. And then even for yourself, like, I may not be suffering from actual hair loss, but I don't have eyebrows. Like, I have peach fuzz. And I over-tweezed when I was younger, so trying to grow on back is just not growing where I want it to grow. It's like everywhere else except for the shape that I want. So I rely on, doing pencil with Anastasia Beverly Hills, of course, and pomades and things like that. And so I think it's very beneficial for all of you to kind of understand how to manipulate the shape or to create a shape where there is no hair. So this is going to be a very exciting class for everybody. Yay! Now, as far as the donations are concerned, yes, this is a free class. We're not making any money off of this class. We just want to make sure that we can give to a cause for the first time. Dress Your Face Live launched maybe 6 months ago or something. No, a little bit, maybe 7 months ago. It was like October or something. And I feel like it's grown to the point where I could definitely use it as a platform to raise awareness for causes that are close to my heart and close to my clients' hearts. And I learned about alopecia in beauty school. I do have my cosmetology license, and so for those of you who are in beauty school, you will or have already learned a little bit about it. Although it is a very mysterious condition. There's not a whole lot of answers as to why it happens and how it happens. It just happens. And so, maybe Rachel can explain a little bit better about the whole idea of the research behind it and everything like that. And our purpose here is to not only educate, but to help fund the charity that I had Rachel pick, which is close to her heart, which is the Children's Alopecia Project, especially because her baby girl is going through the same exact thing she's going through. So it is a very special thing to kind of uplift the spirits of our young generation who's going through some hard times, and to help figure out what we can do to treat this mysterious condition. So with that said, I am going to be checking up on donations throughout this class. As a huge thank you, I really want this to be a big, big thing for all of us. I want us to make a difference, and I want this class and my students and those of you out there who are trial members to really help us create a wave in this whole movement of working towards a cause. So today's cause is the Children's Alopecia Project, and every single penny you donate towards it, it's all going to the cause. And on top of that, as a thank you, like I was saying originally, I'm going to be shouting out the top 3 to 5 donors. So, and that's going to be shouted out on my page to like 1.5 million followers. So if you're out there and kind of feel like I can use a shout out, go ahead. This is your chance. We would definitely appreciate everyone's donations, but absolutely the top 3 to 5, we'll see how it's going, how the race is going. We'll definitely get a shout out on my page as a huge thank you, because we appreciate all of your help. Okay? Cool. So are we ready to go? How is your connection? Let me know. I know that some of you are trying to log in right now. We have a huge influx of people that are trying to watch. So let me just double check and make sure everything's going well with you guys before we actually get started. Are we good?
Link on your bio, if you can
Where is my phone?
It's over here.
Can I get it? Does it need list? Okay.
Put it on your bio so you can make another post.
Okay. So, I guess because of how many people are trying to get on, obviously if you're you're watching this, but I'm going to go ahead and make a new post because some people weren't able to log in. So there is a new link. I'm just going to go ahead and make a quick post so that we can go ahead and get started. In the meantime, maybe you want to let them know about the background of alopecia and what you know about it and what kind of treatments there are out there and how we can help.
When I first went through my hair loss, my pattern started in the back and reached around, they called it the halo pattern. The doctor that I had seen at the time basically told me that because of the pattern that there is no treatment, and treatment for it can actually make it worse, so it's basically better off left alone, and that the condition was more than likely to worsen. Not really the best of news when you walk out of the doctor's office. And I remember leaving that day in the car just completely in tears and just brokenness. And then when my daughter endured the same fate, her patches were different, which started up on the front and a couple other places around the head. And after taking her to the doctors, they told me that her pattern was different from mine and it was very unlikely to develop into the same alopecia as mine, but hers was more likely to respond to treatment. So we started a series of topical steroids on top of the patches, and things seemed to be going good. We got about 3 inches in growth, and then once we stopped the treatment, the hair fell out, which was, of course, devastating. And then we've been to numerous dermatologists, and there's a couple of prescriptions out there right now that are in trial basis that are basically looking at to see if they work, which so far looks like it's doing good. My daughter's doctor put her on a regimen of topical steroids with a form of Retin-A. So far, she's got some growth regrowing, but from previous circumstances, we do know that it can possibly potentially fall out again. But we also have learned about diet and nutrition from various other things. So we're kind of just, I think every person is different and every case is different. So what may work for you may not work for another, but so the hard part is, like she said, it is a mysterious disease. They really don't have many answers, but from what I've gathered, they are trying and doing a lot of research. But my biggest thing from myself and as well as my daughter is the emotional effects that come with it and are the ones that need to be supported the most. And that's why I chose the Children's Alopecia Project, because going through the trials with my daughter in school and some of the feelings that she had, coming home with tears in her face every single day, I started advocating for her in her school system and talking in the classroom amongst her classmates about what her condition was, how she's affected, how it makes her feel. And when you're talking with some second graders, it can be quite amusing, some of the questions that they ask you, but it's honesty, and once it's been out there, they have nothing else to say. And that's been one of the core things that helped her build her confidence in school as well as outside of school.
All right, so there you have it. That is the story, and that is the background. And I love how I just keep getting out of the frame. That's basically the background of what we all kind of can understand about this alopecia condition. And I'm just glad that, she told me a story about one of your daughter's friends. You were like sticking up for your daughter. Oh my God, that was the sweetest thing. Anti-bullying is like the biggest movement right now, and I highly encourage, even if your daughter is not like, suffering from alopecia or whatever, always, always, always make sure that for their friends around them and they themselves are anti-bullying and always there to lift each other up in case of any situations. And her daughter, obviously, you're a new girl in school, or even if you're not a new girl in school, people are going to be staring when they see something different from themselves, and that's such a horrible thing. And children are, although they are innocent, they do say things without thinking, and they hurt feelings, and then they become bullies without really understanding the depth of the pain that it can cause. And so definitely, if you cannot help in a monetary donation, at least spread awareness, help these kids to understand that being different is not a bad thing. It's actually a very special thing, and it can promote a lot of, love in the community and togetherness. So definitely that's another huge thing that we want to promote today. Absolutely. So if you guys are ready, we're ready.
Nothing.
Shall we just move on?
Let's go.
All right, we're going to get started. So I'm going to show you a lot of really cool things. This class is going to cover so many different subjects, okay? This is a very, very intense class. So not only are we going to talk about face structure and creating and sculpting the bone structure of the face using contouring and highlighting methods, we are also going to be talking about the creation of eyebrow in a way where it can look the most flattering and the most natural. We're also going to go over, of course, the eye makeup look that we've been posting about that we did on that I did on Rachel before, which is a very, very it's a defined look, but it's not overkill. It's something that can be worn to many different events, whether it's a little bit more of a semi-casual event or your own wedding, depending on how how crazy you like to go with makeup. But we did do something that's a little bit more on the sophisticated side, nothing too crazy, but still absolutely beautiful and flattering. So we'll go over those techniques for the eyes, and we're also going to go over lashes when you don't have lashes to prop them up. That's a very, very difficult thing, especially to do on yourself. I'm going to talk about the glues that I use, how long you have to wait because it's got to get sticky so it can come on and not mess up everywhere, especially when you don't have lashes to block it from entering your eyes. So things that we can do to create this illusion of lashes and eyebrows, as well as define face structure and all that beautiful stuff. When someone doesn't have hair, their face shines through 100%. Nothing's blocking the face. So this is the perfect opportunity to enhance your facial features in a very, very beautiful way. So I'll be going over all of those things with kind of neutral and shimmery tones in the color. I'm going to tell you every brush that I'm using, every product that I'm using. No, these have not been endorsed. These are actual products and brushes that are in my kits. So it's kind of straightforward. All right, cool. So let's get started. First things first, we want to make sure that we have prepped the skin very nicely. Obviously, you can see that her skin is already flawless. It's already very soft. It feels nicely hydrated. There's no dry patches. But if she was super dry, I would put her in a moisturizing, hydrating primer. In this case, I'm going to use the MAC Prep and Prime, the original one. There's no SPF in it. There's no shimmer in it. It's just very basic, and it's good for all skin types. And she has pretty normal skin, so I'm going to go ahead and use that right now with my fingertips. I love to feel the product going on. I like to make sure that the primer is being smooth on the skin really, really well, and there's no like streaks on the surface. So I'm just going to go ahead and just smooth on this primer all throughout her face, and I'm also going to do it around the top of her forehead right in here too. And we're just going to make sure every single part of the face is covered. Make it very, very smooth. You don't really necessarily have to prime the eyelids. That's going to be with a specific eyeshadow base that I'm going to use. So I'm going to concentrate on everything else. Smooth around the lips, nose, make sure you're getting around the nostril.
I never forget the first time you asked me, what is your skin type?
Oh, you're like, what?
What does that mean? I've never had my makeup done by actually one friend before. This is the second person that's touched my face, so I didn't know what to answer for that one.
Feeling it feels pretty normal. I don't feel it oily. I don't feel it dehydrated either. It's feeling very, very nice, very normal. Gonna smooth it everywhere here. All right, good. So now that we have a nice base, we're going to go ahead and apply foundation. And I'm going to use Studio Fix foundation on her. We are going to give her a slight dewy, kind of a bronzy look. But we don't want to go too dark with her foundation because we are going to be applying a lot of contour. So I'm going to go in with MAC Studio Fix foundation in NC25 as her base, and then we're going to start adding some bronze around it with some of the contouring methods that we'll show you next. So this is NC25 foundation from MAC. It's a Studio Fix. The brush I'm using is Morphe M427. this brush right here. It is a dual fiber brush, and we're just gonna lightly dip in. I don't like to take too much, so if you have to spread it on your hand so that you're not dipping into globs, you can go ahead and do that. Or if you're disciplined to just take a small amount, go ahead and just take a small amount. And we're going to stamp it on the skin. The stamping method is what's going to cover the skin the most without wasting product by doing this round motion. You don't want to buff it round and round because you're basically wiping off everything that you're putting on and it's going right back into the brush. So instead, I want you guys to try the stamping method, and that's what's going to look more flawless on the skin. It's going to fill in any pores. It's going to smooth the skin beautifully. And you're actually transferring all the product from the brush onto the face without reabsorbing it back into the brush. It's very, very smooth. We're going to do the same on this side. Go ahead and face me a little bit. Beautiful. And we're going to make sure that it's all looking very natural, meaning that you cannot see where it starts and finishes. You don't want to see globs on the surface. You want to see that it has melted into the skin very, very nicely. Another thing is, especially when you're working with someone either with their hair all the way up, like pulled up in an updo, or someone that does not have hair, you want to make sure that you're also applying whatever's left on your foundation brush around the ear area so that it all evens out. These are things that we don't normally think about, but I wanted to make sure I pointed it out so that you guys know what to do in this case. And I do that on a lot of my brides whose ears are showing in their updos. And if there is a big color difference between the ears and the face after you put on the foundation, you want to go ahead and make sure that the ears are covered up a little bit as well. So whatever's left on my hand, I'm just going to go ahead and just apply it and buff it around the ear. I'm not trying to put globs around the ear. I don't really want to apply so much product on these areas, but just whatever's left on the brush, you can easily just buff it onto the ear and then stamp just the surface just to get it to even out a little bit more. It does make a big difference on camera just to even out a little bit of the redness. And we are going to be putting a little bit of the Studio Fix powder on the ears as well, just to even it out more. And we're also going to do that on the neck, but we don't need to do too much right now because the face and the neck are matching really nicely already. So we don't even need to do too much. Okay, now that the foundation is on, we're going to go into concealer right under the eyes. And the brush that I like to use for concealer is the MAC 287 brush. I'm going to show it to you in 1 second. And I'm going to use the MAC Studio, the Pro Longwear concealer under the eyes and around the eyes, just to brighten it up before we go crazy with the highlight and contour. So it's NC35 is what I'm using, the Pro Longwear concealer, and I'm going to go in with this brush, which is MAC 287. So we're just using a very small amount of concealer, and I'm just going to stamp it right around her eye area. I did not want to pick a very, very light color for this because I really wanted to just match her skin tone and not look super bright. So we're going to smooth this on, and I'm flatly packing it. And you want to just keep packing it until it looks like it's fused into the skin very nicely, so you can't really tell where it starts and finishes. So look at the difference already. And we did not choose a color that's too light. We chose a color that is true to her skin color. And that way it doesn't look like a gray ring around the eyes. It just looks very, very natural. Same on the other side. And be very careful when you're going close to the waterline of the eyes. You don't want to be hard on your client or on yourself. You want to make sure that the brush is not poking you. and just flatly smooth it out. Okay. So now that that's on, we can use the concealer anywhere else that we feel like we need to just smooth out. So go ahead and close your eyes. We're also going to go ahead and apply a little bit of concealer around her eyelids. Or we could have just gone straight into the eyeshadow base. But in this particular one, I would like to show you how it looks with concealer on first. So we're just evening out the color, making sure everything, like now we're really making a blank canvas, right? Like now it's all one color, and then we can start adding all the little 3D effects of highlight and contour. Notice how I'm stretching the skin. I don't want to have any gaps. Open and look up against the ceiling. I'm just going to smooth this out again, smooth this out again, and now we are ready. So real quick, I want to shout out some of the top tippers. These are the top donations so far from, let's see who it is, Star Performer. You are number 1 so far. Joanna 711, thank you. Lida, you're number 3. Number 4 is Sana Bano. Is that correct? Sana Bano? Awesome. And number 5 is Denise Beauty. Thank you to the 5 of you so far who are number 1 tippers. We're going to keep this charity drive going. We want to make sure that we can raise as much as possible. We literally have like an hour left, or maybe an hour and a half left before the donations are cut off, and we're going to write a check to this amazing project. And so keep it coming. Thank you so much. And remember, the top 3 to 5 donors or tippers, whatever you'd like to call it, will be shouted out on my page as a huge thank you. So I definitely want to make it worth your while immediately. Of course, it is food for the soul to make sure that you're doing something for the community, doing something for a cause that you believe in, and we highly, highly, highly thank you and appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. So I'm just going to keep checking in every once in a while. My team's going to tell me who are the top 5. I want to keep showing you love as much as possible. And let's get this going. Tell your friends too. Have everyone watch this. It's an amazing, amazing show. All right. That just made me so excited. Ah!
Thank you.
Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Okay. So we have the face done. We have the concealer done. Now we can really have fun with the highlighting contour. This is the part that like everyone's just going to be like, ah, OMG. Okay. So first things first, we're going to highlight certain areas. So I'm going to go in with, let's see what color. I think I'm going to go in with the creamy beige from LA Girl Cosmetics. This is the HD Pro Conceal. And I'm just going to squeeze a little bit on the back of my hand. And I'm going to use the brush to go ahead and start painting. So we're going to now bring out her beautiful cheekbones. She already has a great definition. She's laughing. And everyone on my page was like, she already looks stunning without anything on. And a lot of the people were like, oh my God, you could totally model. And you absolutely could. We even told you that when we first met you too.
I think I'm such a tomboy, and I'm not ladylike, so we'll see.
And that's totally normal. All right, cool. We will see. I think you can totally just go for it. Your daughters would be so excited. So we are now highlighting a lovely triangle under her eyes. And we're going to fill it in. This is going to bring out the under eye, and it's going to bring out the cheekbone. Just brightening that up a bit.
I think I got my cheekbones from my grandma and my mother.
Oh, yeah? Oh.
Right, Mom?
Her mom is a stunner. After class, we're going to have to bring you on to say hi. And then you can drag more donations. Not your lashes, drag more donations. Oh, crap. See, that's me being extremely excited right now.
Sorry.
Okay. Line all the way down, all the way across up into the cheekbone area, and we're going to fill it in. Bam. Okay? So now that we have our little triangles going on, we can now concentrate on the center zone of the face, which will be right down the bridge of the nose, Bam. And we are going to fan out just a little bit on the center of the forehead, just to kind of give that core brightness. So once we have it down to the bridge of her nose, we're going to highlight the Cupid's bow.
That's cool.
Yeah, the Cupid's bow. And we can even go around the nostril area a little bit and above the lip just to kind of brighten up that part. And then I also like to brighten up a little bit on the chin. So that's all for the highlight areas. You want to do like a side to side? Perfect. Take your screenshots, ladies. This is your moment to kind of take your notes. Make sure that you are understanding where the bright is going, where the dark is going. And once we do the whole map on her with the dark, I'm going to have her kind of lean forward and do this whole side-to-side thing so that you can really see. Take your screenshots. And, of course, the other way that I like to show love on Instagram is when you repost a screenshot from class showing that you've learned something in class. You can talk about what your favorite part of class was or anything. When you repost a screenshot from dressyourfacelive.com and hashtag dressyourfacelive, I do check that hashtag every single day, and I show love like crazy. I go on a liking frenzy, and then, bringing some traffic to your page. Why not share the love? You give me love, I'm going to give it right back. So definitely use the hashtag dressyourfacelive. You can tag her, you can tag me, so that we can see your pictures of the class and see your excitement and see your feedback and whatever other messages you want to give to her. We can check it either on our pages or on the hashtag dressyourfacelive, so we can give you some love too and like your posts. Yes! All right, next is contour. We're going to go in with Beautiful Bronze, same brand, LA Girl. We're going to squeeze a little bit out on my hand, and we are going to start drawing again. So top of the ear towards the corner of the mouth, we're going to create this lovely line. And what that's doing, I'm going to have you face maybe a little bit this way. Yeah, perfect. That is chiseling the cheekbone even more. So we're going to do the same on the other side. Going right in. Now we're also going to just lightly contour the jawline. And we'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so now we have these beautiful angles going right down and kind of elongating the face a little bit. But she already has like the ideal face shape. So we don't really need to go too crazy with this. Now we're going to go in with a little bit of temple bronzing just to give a little bit of that 3D effect in here. So I like to just kind of darken up a little bit of the temple. We're going to have you go over here. Yep. So a little bit of the temple here and a little bit on the other side as well. And we're going to go into the nose contour. So what I do is I'm going to go and I'm going to start contouring her crease first. Her crease contour is going to help me achieve a little bit of a brow shape, although I can kind of tell where her brow shape is already, but it's going to help me kind of distinguish how high I want to go with her brows and how low I want to go with the beginnings. So I'm going to start contouring her eyelids a little bit, or her crease area, and that is what's going to connect to her nose contour. So go ahead and watch as I do that part. I'm going to get a little bit more product here, and I can have you face a little bit this way. Beautiful. I hope that's a good angle for you guys. Okay. So right here I see a little bit of a dip naturally. So I'm just going to bring that out a little bit. If you guys can see that. Good. Now I'm going to start drawing this down the side of her nose, and I'm going to take this one down as well. Go ahead and face straight into the camera. So now we have a little bit of this kind of nose bridge shape going into the eye area, and that's starting to kind of create this illusion of having a little bit of a brow going on. So that's going to help us establish the brow shape later. Kind of funny, huh? Did you spot? You can scratch it. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to do this little crease action here. I'm just kind of drawing in her crease to create a little bit of shaping, which is going to help us with the brow shaping later. So right in through there. Now you guys can kind of see a little bit of this depth going on. Things are starting to take shape. We can go back with our Pro Conceal in creamy beige if we want to re-brighten her eyelid. Go ahead and close your eyes. We can really brighten up her eyelid here. This is just tricks of contour and highlight. You don't have to do the eye, but for me, it definitely helps me to establish her brow shape. Go ahead and open your eyes. So now we have this very defined eye, and that's going to help us define her brows. Next, for the contour, we are going to close the bottom of the nose contour and also close the top. That's going to prevent the nose from looking too long. Because when you have two parallel lines, it looks like the nose is going to go on for miles, right? So what you want to do is create a visual break, one on the bottom and one on the top if the nose is looking too long. If your nose is considerably short in proportion to the rest of the face, you do not have to create those visual breaks. It's already shorter. So creating those lines are going to create the length that you may want. But in our case, we already have an ideal nose size, so we're not trying to make it look longer. We're trying to just make it look sharper. So in our case, we are going to draw the lines, which is going to make it look longer, so then we have to draw the horizontal lines to make it look shorter again. It's all about balance. So what this is going to do is just create a sharper, nice and straight, skinny cutie pie nose. Ta-da! And lastly, I love to just add a little bit of depth right in between the Cupid's bow. It just kind of accentuates it. And then adding a little bit of darkness right below the lower lip and in the center part. And that's going to create that poutiness that we love so much. And that's pretty much it for the contouring. So what I'm going to have her do now is go ahead and maybe just sit forward just a hint. Yes. And go ahead and turn side to side. And you guys can go ahead and take your cell phone pictures, screenshots, whatever you need to do. And she's going to slowly turn to the other side. And you can see the beautiful formations that are happening. Again, the lines don't have to be perfect. They just need to be in the right spot. Because it is all going to be blended anyway. So I hope you guys are understanding what we're doing here. We're just creating some depth and some highlights with this whole beautiful contouring concept. Cool? You got it? You good? Okay. Awesome. Now time for the blending step. Let me wipe my hands though before I get it everywhere. Okay. For blending, we're going to use one of my favorite brushes. This is MAC number 130, this lovely brush right here. And we're going to start by pushing in all the highlight zones first. So we're going to go in and just melt in all the light. And make sure the other side is the same. All I'm doing is really just pushing it in and it starts to blend on its own. It just kind of melts into the foundation layer. Make sure we get the chin. Got this part. Okay, so highlight has been blended in. Now we're going to blend in the contour, and then we're going to do the nose area with a smaller brush. So same brush. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to start wiping the jawline, because the last thing I want is a very, very strong line to show. The brown line is not something I like to see on the jaw. I just wanted to create a little bit of shadowing. So we're really going to buff this part out. That's probably the only part of the face that I'm really rubbing. And I turn this way. And smooth it out. And if something is not blending right, you can absolutely use your fingers to just kind of smooth it further. Now we're going to go over here and start blending in the contour. I'll turn you a little bit this way. Yep, perfect. And just make sure when you're blending contour that you're not spreading it so much everywhere. We just want it to stay in the zone that we've drawn it on, and then smoothing with the fingers or a clean brush the edges so that it doesn't look like a crazy line out of nowhere. So now we have this beautiful contour right there. How pretty. A nice little shadowing. And we're going to do the same on the other side with our blending. So we're just going to start melting away this product, lifting it off, making sure that there's no crazy lines going on. And now that we have this beautiful sharpness here, we're going to smooth the edges with our fingers or a clean brush. In this case, because she doesn't have a sideburn here and she doesn't have hair here that can kind of hide the edge, we're going to smooth the edge into the scalp line with our fingers. Just like that. I love it already. Ah! Looking good. We're going to do the same with the temple zone. So, smoothing the sides of the forehead here. And then with our fingertips, we're just dragging it towards the back of the head. The crown area, basically. Just so that you can't see a sudden edge. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Smoothing that into the crown. And spreading it back. No edges. Everything is just seamless. Okay, so far so good. Now we can use a smaller brush for that T-zone area. So we're going to go back to our concealer brush. And we're going to blend those parts out. Let's see here.
Should we check in with the sticker?
Huh?
Should we check in with the post-it?
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, where's my phone? You got it? I love how my husband keeps taking my phone away from me, and I can't even check on my Instagram post.
Just helping out.
Yeah, thank you. There's no website on it. You deleted my website.
No, hit cancel. I'll just copy it. It's on there.
Okay.
The girls are trying to watch you.
Oh,
I need that.
perfect. Oh, okay. Did you send the link?
Yeah, that's why I
But
did.
into the one and I didn't get it yet.
He didn't get it? She didn't get it yet?
Yes, that's it.
All right. We want everyone to see this, so okay. Hang in there.
And little girls at home that are trying to log in.
They want to log in and watch.
Mama.
You got the link there? Okay. Let's see. Oh, there's so many comments. Let's see if there's any questions in the meantime. Someone's asking for a makeup routine for younger girls in college. I can definitely go over that. Ooh, they love the contour so far. As Pablo Castro is saying, I love how the contour doesn't look so dark. That's great. Yes, that's the whole point. Especially when you don't have a lot of dark hair around the face, you can't really get away with a super dark contour because there's nothing for it to blend into. So when you're working with skin on skin, you want to make sure that your contour is seamlessly going back. There's no harsh edges, and it doesn't look like someone like splattered contour all over her face. It looks very, very flattering and natural. Minus the T-zone. We have not blended that yet. If you're just joining us now, they're like, what is she talking about?
This is part of it.
That's, it all works up to that. Okay, we're going to wait for some actual Q&A questions in a little bit. But we'll keep checking up on those Instagram comments. Keep them coming. Keep the donations coming. We are doing this for a huge cause. Help us out. Let's make this really big. All right. Concealer brush. This is the same concealer brush we used before. What I'm doing right now is I'm smoothing out her crease. I'm just softening it up. I don't want to wipe it off totally, but I'm just softening it up. Smoothing it out. You can absolutely use your fingers. It's all good. Okay. And that was with the same concealer brush that we used before. This is MAC 287 concealer brush. Go ahead and close your eyes. I'm also going to smooth out the highlight on the eyelid. I don't normally do this eye portion. I usually go straight into the eyeshadow base and start creating the highlight and contour with actual eyeshadows. But because I really want you guys to see the beauty of shaping, I'm doing this so that you guys can really see the lights and darks and have a completed face before we get into the eyes. So now that's all blended. Okay, now we're going to start blending the nose and we're going to start blending the lip area. Did Mama get the link? Oh, okay.
Hi, Ellie. Hi, Kalia.
The babies are watching.
And Devin, my son. And, of course, the hubby watching them all. Thank you. Everyone thank the husband.
Thank you, husband. I had the pleasure of meeting all of them last time they came. They had a family road trip when we shot our video promo for you guys, and it was so fun. The kids were like amazed. They did not recognize their mommy. And then was it the youngest one or the 13-year-old that was like, can you just wipe it all off?
Oh yeah, the middle one.
The middle one. The middle one was like, okay, can I wipe it off now, Mom?
She's the one that has the alopecia too. But I love the thing. One time I went in on the room after we had connected and everything, and she had been surfing through your page, and I caught her in the living room with the makeup stuff that Matt and Brittany had bought her, and she was drawing all over her face. I go, what are you doing? She said, I'm trying to do that thing that Tamana does.
Oh my God, that was so cute. And she posted it. You have it still on your page, right? On her Instagram page, it's Mrs. Mother Regal. Instagram page, there's a picture of her daughter like with lines all over trying to do this.
Mini makeup artist.
So funny. So funny.
She's actually pretty good, I will say, since 7 years old. She can do eyeliner on her own eyes pretty well, which
oh my
I'm
God.
surprised.
Nice.
Yeah. We've checked her out a couple times. I'm like, how do you do that?
Hey, she's a true student.
Learning everywhere she can.
Mm-hmm. Smoothing this, and don't forget to smooth under the lippies. I always forget this part. It's so hard to see it. But there we go. Okay. So there we have it. All the contour and highlight blended in. And now we can go in with powder to start setting it in each zone. So we're going to choose a light color powder to set the light zones, a darker color powder to set the darker zones, and a medium shade to set everything in between to make everything very seamless. How are we doing on donations? We're going to find out who the top 5 are, the latest top 5, so I can see how's it going. I'm so excited to see the updates. My mama donated to my whole family. They got so excited when they saw the video last night. They've been texting me all morning. How do we donate? How do we donate? I was like, you gotta log in and you gotta donate. The button's right there. Right there. Alright. Powders. I'm going to use Studio Fix powders. 3 different colors to make sure everything's looking amazing. So we have NC25 is one of our shades. I think that will be our highlight shade. And then I also have NC40, which will be your medium shade. And then NC42, which will be your contour shade for the 3 colors. So I have these 3 Studio Fix powders from MAC, and the lightest one is going to go on her first. That's going to be NC25. We will be using, which brush are we using? We're going to use the Morphe M407 brush, this little ball baby right here. And it fits so perfectly for highlight setting. And so that's why we're going to use it, and I'll show you exactly how I do it. And in the meantime, definitely go ahead and donate if you haven't done so already, or if you want to up your donation. The donate button is right on this page, right around the corner. So please, please, please donate for a very, very beautiful cause. That's why we're here today. That's why Rachel got on the plane for the very first time.
And left my babies at
all
home.
the way here, left her babies so she could basically do it for them. The children's alopecia.
Is it still on the tipping tab of the website, or does it say donate?
It's right there. It says donate, right?
Okay.
It says donate. Right there. Right next to us. It's so easy.
Right there or right
there.
here? One of the two.
Somewhere. We'll just, somewhere. Somewhere around our face is a donate button. Find it and donate, please.
Look around the top of my head.
Yeah. Go ahead and look up to the ceiling. Chin down just a little bit. Just eyes up. Yep, beautiful. So I'm just going to smooth out the under eye real quick. And we're going to go ahead and start setting with this lovely powder. Just make sure you're not powdering the eyeball. Smooth around. Right in here too. We're going to do the whole triangle that we did originally. That's where this powder is going. And I'm using a lot. This is Studio Fix powder. It actually does look good. The more you use it, the more flawless it looks. And now that part is done. We're going to do the same on the other side. Be very careful under the eyes. And make sure you go all the way down to the triangle. You can do the side of the nose, around the nostrils as well with this color. The lighter color of the three that you're choosing. Basically, how do you choose the three colors? The medium color is going to be your actual regular powder color, but the lighter color is going to just be a couple shades lighter, and the darker color is going to be a couple shades darker. We're going to do a little bit on the chin, and a little bit right here. Basically, wherever we highlighted. And then very carefully down this tiny little bridge of her nose. There.
I don't have nose hairs either.
Very ticklish.
It's funny, the things you don't notice that play a role when you don't have them. No eyelashes.
No nose hairs.
Everything just goes straight up.
Nothing to block.
Yeah, it's fun. But it's
We
okay.
don't think about things like that. Yeah. We hate nose hair, actually. Which I'm sure you did before you dealt with this.
Yeah.
And now, nothing. Now we know.
Now
Why
we know everything.
did God give us nose hair?
Yeah, we know. Keep
Now we
stuff
know.
out. And keep other stuff in.
Do you sneeze a lot?
Actually, no.
No? Oh,
No.
that's good.
Yeah, no.
The random questions during a live class. Okay, now for the darker color, we're going to use NC42 and just lightly graze it over the areas that we did the contour. So NC42, where are you? There you go. And we're going to use Morphe brush number 438. Morphe brush number 438. And we're just lightly going to apply this on the contour areas. Here and here, a little bit on the temple zone. Make sure you are dragging it to behind the ears as well. Right back in here too. Oh, if you guys can't find the donate button, it is on this page. If you're watching it from Decast, from the sister website, in case you had an issue logging in, try coming back to www.dressyourfacelive.com and try logging in now that the influx of the traffic has slowed down a little bit. And you can log in, go to the members area, and then go to the view live stream. And when you see this live stream on the actual website that we're all supposed to be watching it from, the Dress Your Face Live website, that's where the donate button is. So in case you can't find it due to being on our sister website, that in case you weren't able to log in, we provided another link so you guys can see it. Come back to dressyourfacelive.com and log in and watch it here so you can donate. And you'll find the donate button somewhere right around our faces right now. Okay. All right, we're also gonna get this jawline bronzed up a little bit. And I'm gonna add this bronzing color right over here. So, who's our number one tipper in the lead right now? Mandeep Halia? Oh my gosh, congratulations, Mandeep. You're the number one tipper so far.
Thank you.
I wonder if anyone's gonna beat that amount. I guess we'll have to see. So, remember, I'm going to be shouting out the top tippers throughout this class. And as a huge thank you, on my Instagram, I'm going to announce the top 3 to 5 tippers, donators, basically donors, and I'm going to tag you guys. So I'm going to find out what your Instagram names are so I can tag you and, get you guys some love too for giving us some love back. So thank you for your donations. Keep them coming. We are really counting on this class to, give a very, very lovely check to the foundation this time. And so every little bit helps. If everyone just donates whatever they can, it will really make a huge difference. So thank you in advance. So I'm just using this contour color. I'm going to fill up the whole neck area with this contour shade as well, just to give a little bit of a bronzy glow so that the jawline doesn't pop out too much. We don't want the jawline color to be significantly darker than the neck, so that's why I like to add the bronze color to the neck area as well. And now squeezing the brush into a little blade, I'm just going to lightly go along the edges of the nose. We're going to go right into the contour over there as well. Okay, so that's how it looks like so far. Now, to get it to look a little bit more natural, we're going to add a medium tone right in between the dark and the light so that everything looks like it's married together and really flowing nicely. So NC40 is going to be that color for us. We're going to go in with MAC number 109 brush. It's a larger ball brush. And first we're going to just tap it over areas that we haven't set yet. So this whole jaw area, we've not set yet. We did above it and below it, but not on it. So we're going to go ahead and set this area here. We're also going to put it in between, like I said. So I'm going to have you face over here a little bit. See this dark and this light? Right in between the dark and light, we're going to set it with this medium shade. And now it starts to look a little bit more natural, a little smoother, not as sharp. We're going to do the same on the other side right in here, right in between the light and dark. So it just marries a lot better. Ooh, already looking nice. We're also going to do it right in between the temple and the forehead area. Right in through here. And we're going to do a little extra on the sides of the nose. It is going to cover some of the contour, but that's the point. We want to soften the contour a little bit. Right on the sides. And you can cover up some of the areas around the mouth just to soften up the contour there. I think I want to soften this one up a little bit more. Okay. Cool. So this is like our little eraser step, a step that just makes everything look a little bit more on the natural side. So now that everything is done on the face as far as the base is concerned, now we can start adding shimmer and blush and all that nice stuff. I love those steps. So we're going to go in with the MAC 189 brush, this lovely paddle brush here. And we will be using the Galactic Face Glow in Bronze. This amazing product here. And I'm going to use it right on the cheekbones. And we're going to use our fingers to smooth out the edges so you can't really see where it starts and finishes. And I'm going to move your face a little bit this way so you can see that beautiful shine now. There. So we're going to give that shine right to this side too. Smooth it out. And now we have this nice glow going on, looking really nice, that J-Lo glow. We're also going to add it right down the bridge of the nose and smooth this out too. And a little bit on the chin and upper lip as well.
Bald J-Lo.
Gotta love J-Lo. I'm also doing it on the brow bone.
I read a book at the airport.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was checking it out. So inspiring. Pretty cover too. Lots of glitz to it.
Oh yeah.
Shimmer and everything, really pretty.
I'm just using whatever's left on my brush just to add a little bit of glow throughout the base. So now that we have this beautiful glowing bronzy look, we are ready for the next step, which is going to be eyebrows. Now,
everyone's questions.
Everyone, yes. Eyebrows is the biggest thing. It's such a huge deal. I actually did an entire episode just on eyebrows. I had two models. I had one with thicker eyebrows and one that didn't have thicker eyebrows, so we could kind of show both. And that class was like 2 hours long almost, and it was just eyebrows, nothing else. So, eyebrows is a really big deal. I'm going to explain a lot of how I'm doing it here and what products I'm using as well. Now, real quick before I do eyebrows, if you guys love a very strong highlight and contour, you can absolutely use an actual contour palette. Like Anastasia Beverly Hills has this amazing contour palette that has really light colors and really dark colors. I custom made this one in the colors that I use the most. And if we wanted to really brighten up and really darken some areas, we can definitely use this on our clients as well. And I almost always do use this palette, basically always actually. But the reason why I'm not using it today is because I don't want so much contrast. Again, we don't have hair here to kind of hide the edges. So the edges need to smooth out into the skin again. So in order for it to smooth out and not look so artificial, I don't want it to be so much contrast. So I'm skipping out on this time. And I'm just focusing on the colors that we used for her setting powders, which is with the Studio Fix from MAC, okay? So that's why I'm not using it, not because I don't like it. I love this product, but we're just not using it for today because I don't want to get too crazy with this. So real quick, I'm going to add a little bit of blush, though, before we move on to the eyebrows. So this is Copper Tone from MAC, and I'm just giving her a little bit of this peachy glow. Flicking it on the cheek area, right in between her highlight and her contour. And the brush that I'm using is the angled cheek brush from MAC. How gorgeous is that? I'm loving it. Cool. All right, cool. Now we're ready for brows. So first things first that I like to do is I like to make sure that with a small shader brush, I think this is 239 from MAC, we're going to mattify and brighten up that brow bone with the Tamana palette, which is basically gone. It's not here anymore. It's a limited edition. But the color is called Fresh, and that color is available on the Anastasia Beverly Hills website. They sell all the individuals, so you can create your own palettes. And what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to, right in here, brighten up this brow bone area so I can figure out exactly how high I want to go with her brows. I can still see some of the contour that I did here, so I am aware of, how I want to shape it. So I've brightened that up a little bit. I'm going to do it on this side too. Adding a little bit more. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and start creating the brow. I'm going to use Dip Brow from Anastasia Beverly Hills in dark brown. This color is going to be not super dark. It is called dark brown, but it doesn't go on super dark. And we are going to warm it up with brow powder as well. But for now, we're just going to use this. And I'm going to pick up a small amount. This is the product. I'm going to put it on my hand. This is the dark brown. And very lightly, I'm going to start creating her brow shape. And then we can blend it into a lighter shade. So first, what I like to do is kind of start creating a little edge very softly. And I'm going to do the same on the other side here, so I know that I'm on the same level. Okay, go ahead and face the camera. So we have a little bit of edging showing. And I'm going to start bringing it out right down into here. I'm going to darken this first edge a little bit so that you guys can see. So we have a little bit of this edge going on. And we can figure out how thick we want to go, how high we want to go, and all that good stuff. So first I'm just kind of creating a little bit of a shape. Once I see some shaping, I'm able to build off of that. So now I'm going to get right in front of her. I'm going to try not to block you guys. A little bit. Yep, beautiful. And I'm going to start adding a little bit of depth to the lower edge. And I'm going to start thickening up the brow. I'm using Anastasia's brush number 12. If you don't find it online, it's basically just the angled brow brush with a spoolie at the end. I'm going to start adding depth to this arch area. I'm going to finish up the tail. And I'm going to add a little bit of extra depth on the baseline of the brow here. So the baseline is done, the arch has been formed, and the tail has been formed. Now, I'm going to start creating little brow strokes, brow hair strokes with the same brush. So what we're doing here is we're creating brow hairs. So I'm going up. And this is going to create a very natural effect for those of you who are struggling with lack of brow hair. So we start to kind of shape a little bit of hair there. You can go as dark or as light as you wish. It is your preference. I like to keep some parts blended and some parts not so blended so that you can see a little bit of that stroking appearance. Why don't you go ahead and lean closer so that they can see what I mean by the strokes. See that? See the little brow strokes? We're going to keep doing that over and over so that there's layers and layers of fake hair going on so it can just look more and more natural. So keep stroking upward and outward. Now I like the beginnings to be very faded. So I'm using my spoolie just to kind of pick up and scrape off a little bit of this color. And I'm going to go a little thicker and darker towards the arch and the tail. Make sure the baseline is nice and smooth, but the top edge can be a little bit more natural. Ooh, girl. That's a brow. I do want to go a little thicker here, though. I don't want it to be too high.
I think that was the hardest thing that I lost when I lost everything.
Yeah.
I just remember, like, after I lost my hair, I was like, okay, it's good, we got it. And then I just remember one day looking in the mirror, my eyebrows were thinning and my eyelashes. I was like, oh man, I thought I got to keep those. And
yeah.
it was just readjusting.
it's a big deal. It changes the face a lot, you know, when the eyebrows really add a lot of character, but I feel like you wear it well. Like, I feel like you wear your skin very well.
Thank you.
It shows that you've owned it, you know? Confidence is the best makeup. So right now I'm just kind of adding more strokes. Like I said, it's kind of layer upon layer of hair strokes to create a more natural effect. Okay, so before I go too crazy, I'm just going to stop it there. Believe me, it's going to look much better once the eyes are on and everything is on with the eyeshadow and the eyelashes and all that. We are going to go slightly heavier with the lashes than last time. Last time we used a very natural lash. This time I'm going a little bit more wispy because now that I've seen that she can carry makeup very well too, I say whatever, let's go for it. So we're going to now match this side to that side. So we went a little lower here. We went lower here too. Let that baseline be nice and strong. Because we are going to go strong on her eyeliner, so the brows are allowed to go a little strong too. Alright, we have the top two donators so far. Makeup by Noor and Mandeep Kalia tied. Oh my god, you guys are tied at number 1 right now. Ooh! Alright. Let's get this going. Who's going to win the race? Who's going to win for the biggest donor? Biggest shout out. Smooth this, smooth this. I'm getting butterflies in my stomach right now.
I had that earlier.
All right, time for the little strokies.
And so that's like a pomade kind of like thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is their pomade. We're just going to stroke upward here.
How does it hold off with like sweat and stuff?
Oh, I love that you asked that.
So she just asked, how does the pomade hold up with sweat and stuff? And the answer is it's waterproof.
That's best.
Yeah, I know. So I'm using the pomade on her because I know that Anastasia Beverly Hills created it for those who are missing brow hairs. So whether you're missing it in certain areas or missing it all over, this is probably the best item for you. It's what I use when I'm looking for a very, very long-lasting effect on my brows. You can swim in them and you'll be just fine because it is waterproof, it is sweat resistant, it's very long-lasting, and you can make it as strong or as natural as you want based on how you're stroking it.
It's very versatile.
I think it's been one of my biggest fears, like when I go out, it's like, my eyebrows is going to melt off when I'm sweating and dancing.
So you're like, might as well not even do
Yeah.
it. Well, this stuff is pretty good.
So we might have to hit the streets tonight, go out and test it out.
I'll go with you.
Okay. See, I got
I'll
no
test
kids.
it with you. Single mama tonight? Ooh.
Not single, got the ring on.
Oh, dang.
No kids.
All right, husband. She has the ring on.
Yeah.
We're
I
okay.
brought it.
Light strokes in the beginnings because I don't like it too strong here. Mama. Mama.
She's not
Mama
a good
spoke.
influence sometimes.
Mama just said what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So I think they're going to Vegas.
We might have missed our flight tomorrow.
Oh, my son-in-law's gonna be mad.
Oh.
Hey, he's supposed to be going out there in a couple of weeks for the Mayweather thing, so
Oh, he's going?
he's supposed to be. Possibly. We'll see how that turns out. But he has his room booked.
I'm going out there for a wedding. I have a destination wedding over there May 8th,
Oh.
9th, and 10th. It's a 3-day wedding.
Oh, wow. Pretty.
Yeah, I'm excited. Although I don't love Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm not a gambler.
I've only been there a couple times, and both of them was with kids. I've never, like I said, never flown before or traveled without kids. I've never been to Vegas without kids, so I wouldn't know
Really, what
depths of it.
the adult Vegas is like.
The last time we went, I was nursing the baby and had hair, so we were back and forth between the hotel room and Chip. What was that we went to, Mom?
It's not all bad.
What was that though? What was it called though? That show. Oh, Thunder Down Under. There it is.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Yes. That was good.
All right, we're just smoothing out these brow hairs. I want to make sure it's as balanced as possible. So let me see you straight. I'm gonna go a little thicker right here. Okay. Ooh. All right. I guess we'll revisit the brows once the eyeshadow is on. See how it goes. I often have to revisit things. So if it's not like, I think it's looking pretty awesome right now. But once the eyeshadow is on, once the eyeliner is on, we'll really be able to make sure it's balanced. And then we can go back and kind of tweak any little areas that we need to. But I think we're going to stop at this for now. Go ahead and step in. We're going to see brow to brow, what it looks like up close. So you guys understand my stroking, why I kind of went over and over and over and over and over for so long. Because the whole point was to create fake brow hairs. We want to create that stroke so that it doesn't look like Sharpie brows. We do not want that solid, thing. We want the little strokes. We want to make sure it's looking like it has like areas of depth and areas of light. And that is done through layering. Some parts I stroked a little bit more product, and some parts I stroked a little bit less product. And so that way we have a little bit of variation in the brows, so it looks a little bit more on the natural side. All right, I'm pretty happy with it. Let's move forward. So the next thing is...
Do you want me to check your news feed?
Oh, yeah. Here, let's see. Wow, I have a lot of text messages. Beside the point. 300 comments. Wow, the brows. Mine looks way worse than I actually have brows, says Zuzanna Joanna. Aw, cute. Oh, even her 6-month-old is looking at it. What is she using for the brows? I was using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in dark brown. Oh, someone already answered her. I love how you guys answer each other. Thank you. Rocket Mama, look. Love it. Do you still prefer using dip brow for thicker eyebrows? You know what? I'm glad you asked. Dip brow is very versatile, like I said. So I do like it for all types of brows. I use it on pretty much everyone. But if someone has really thick, like already very defined brows, I typically just use the brow powder. And then I use brow pencil just on very, very sparse areas. So the Anastasia Brow Wiz is my favorite brow pencil. And the brow palette, which I'm going to use a little bit right now just so you guys can see how I use it. This is the Brow Pro palette. It's just all powders, every color. And that is also very, very nice. So let me quickly use this a little bit on her. I'm just going to use, this is just a free gift brow brush that I got at a Lancome free gift. And I'm going to use the lighter color of the dark brown here, just to further mattify certain areas of the brow so that it doesn't look shiny. Just very, very lightly. So we're just kind of mattifying those so that in camera flash it doesn't go shiny. And that's the other thing. Sometimes what happens is you flash the camera when you're using a wet product. Even though it dries completely matte and full coverage, the camera flash will bounce off of the skin. So adding a little bit of powder on those areas, especially on the arch and the tail, will prevent it from bouncing.
I miss my camera.
No, oh
my god, it's okay.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when my husband's my husband's phone got stolen.
I missed something. It belongs with me. I need it back.
I know, that's so messed up. Someone at the door. Okay.
Not surprise guest.
All right. Now that that's on, we're going to do the eye shaping, eye shadowing. This is
Another fun part, we're going to go in with our blending brush. Hi, Boo! Come say hi!
I'm like, I'm trying to be quiet.
My boo-boo Shayla's here. She's going to say hi for a sec.
I don't have lipstick on.
Hi!
Let me see.
It's a close-up, so it's like...
Hey, everybody.
Shayla's here, my girl's here. Her class is next. Alright, so we're going to go in with some eyeshadow and start sculpting the crease right in the back here. We're going to start sculpting that so that we can get a full effect of the depth of the eyes, and then we're going to add something really, really nice on the lid, and then we're going to start adding some depth in the outer corner, and then we're going to do eyeliner, and then we're going to do some more eyeshadow after that. So it's a little bit of a process, but I swear to you, it will be easy once you try it at home. I'm going to dip into a mixture of chocolate and Bengal, these two colors. I'm mixing them to create a softer brown, and I'm going in with the brush number 217 from MAC. Give it a little whack so that it doesn't float all over the place, and we're going to just go ahead and start shading in this outer half of the crease.
I love those colors on your palette.
Oh my god, thank you. I had a blast making this palette. So we're just going to shade in this outer portion here. I wouldn't want to tell you it's a total V formation. It's more of just a blast of color on this outer part. I don't really like creating a major V because I just don't want it to be super, super sharp for this particular look that we're doing. We're going for more of a like natural, beautified look. So I don't want to create harsh lines. So we're just going to go really soft. Now I'm going to go with Bengal, just that kind of caramel tone. And I'm going to bring that color in and soften the whole eye socket. So that brings the color a little higher. Just keep it smooth. And there we go. Okay? So now, within 2 seconds, we created this awesome crease. Now we can fill in the lid with a gorgeous shimmery color. I just started using Hot Makeup. It's just called Hot Makeup. It's a very appropriate name. And this is how beautiful the packaging is. It's all rose gold. Yeah, I made a huge post about it because I got so excited when I got the package. And this is the color we're going to use on the eyelid. It's called Harmony. And I'm just going to use my fingertips. Close your eyes. And we're going to smooth it all over the eyelid. Okay? And it's just such a beautiful, reflective, creamy eyeshadow. Like it's almost like a cream to powder finish. And this can be found on hotmakeup.com. And you can absolutely use my code for a really nice discount. You can get 20% off your entire order of anything on the website on hotmakeup.com when you enter Dress Your Face at checkout. So Dress Your Face is my code. Use my code at checkout so you can get 20% off of anything from hotmakeup.com.
What was that color again?
The color is called Harmony. HC07 is the code of the actual color, but it's called Harmony. It's from that single pan eyeshadow, and it is so, so beautiful. I have almost every color, actually. But this is one of my favorites.
Yeah, just go.
Oh my god, it's like colors galore. Seriously, that post makes me drool. I'm not even gonna lie, when I arranged all those things on my table to make that post, I mean, I kept staring at it for a while, like in awe. Like, do I really have all this?
It's like looking at chocolates in a box.
Oh, seriously.
Speaking of which, I brought you some over there.
Why?
Huh, it's a thank you.
Thank you.
No, the box one's still fine. The ones that were shaped like hair products broke in luggage.
Oh my
Those
god,
are-
how cute! Oh,
I think it's like a blow dryer roller and like a brush or
How
something
cute
like that.
is that? Oh my gosh, it's so sweet.
The brush broke, I think, though.
That's so funny. Thank you. Look what she got me. It's a blow dryer chocolate. And then the hairbrush broke.
Yeah.
But that's okay because it's going to break in my mouth anyway.
And then there's the rollers in there.
Oh, there's
Hair
rollers. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I love it. So adorable. Thank you. And then of course another box of chocolates, which I will devour right after class.
Thank you, Rachel. You did not have to do that though.
You're welcome.
All right, now we're gonna darken this outer corner of the eye with this little brush here. This is the Morphe M506 brush. And I'm gonna go in also with chocolate, that same color that we mixed in her crease, but this is just chocolate by itself. And I'm gonna darken up this outer corner of her eyes. Right in through there. So now we have a little bit more depth in the outer corners. Smoothing that in. Gonna give it a little bit more depth, a little bit more cat eye shape, but it's very blended because I'm doing it with a blending brush. So it's not a super, super sharp V. Okay, now we need a transition shade in between the light and the dark, just like we did on the face. There's a transition shade in between the lights and darks. So we're going to use something, let's see. I'm going to use a color called Custom, right in between the light and dark. So that's also from my palette. It's a light, kind of a grayish taupe. Same brush. I tend to like to use the same brush for a lot of things. And I'm going to place that right in between the dark and the light. Right in through here. We're just kind of pressing it on and sliding it over. Okay. You can also drag it in a little bit in here. All right. And lastly, we're going to add a little tear duct highlight. There's a color that I like from MAC called Nylon. So we're going to use that for the highlight. It's like a light pearlescent sheen. And I'm just dabbing it right into the tear duct zone. Ta-da! It just adds such a pretty brightening quality to the face. It's so funny how one little step can change the whole look so dramatically. All right. So now that we have that brightness, we are officially done with the eyeshadow so far, kind of. We're going to add a little bit more on the bottom afterward. But for now, we're going to go ahead and go right into the eyeliner. This part is going to look scary in the beginning, and then it's going to look really pretty. So that's just a warning, just a little warning. Now, the eyeliner that I love to use is from Inglot Cosmetics. It's INGLOT Cosmetics, and it's number 77 AMC Gel Liner. And it is pretty much the darkest eyeliner I've ever used. And it's just the darkest black. And so I'm going to use that on the waterline and on the top lash line. And this is Anastasia Beverly Hills Liner Brush, number 3. So I'm going to pick it up. Huh? The gel? Does it dry out? Oh, all the time. Mama's asking, does the gel dry out on you? Oh, yes. That's the only drawback, I think, of the Inglot Gel Liner. I mean, the color payoff is, to me, outweighs the drawback of it drying out. So I just make sure that I keep it very moist. I make sure I shut the cap as soon as I pick up the color. And then if I need more, I just take that extra step to open it again and grab it. I never leave it open. And then just make sure that the brush is very saturated so that it stays as wet as possible. Go ahead and look up to the ceiling. We're going to do the waterline first. So I'm just going to draw across her waterline all the way into the corner. And now that's done. We're going to do the other side. We are going to smoke it out, so don't worry, guys. It's not going to look this sharp and crazy. It will be smoked out. Okay. So waterline is done. Now we're going to do the top lash line. What I like to do first is create the wings while the eyes are open. You want to take a minute, breathe? You good? A little watery? No? Yeah, okay. Look a little bit straight. So I'm just going to kind of create a little bit of that angle there. And I'm going to match that angle to the other side. And now that the angles are matched, I can go nuts with the eyeliner without the risk of having one eye go up and one eye go down. None of that happening here. So I'm grabbing more product. And we're gonna go ahead and have you close your eyes. I'm gonna lift her eyelid so I can get really, really close to the base. And I'm going to sharpen up that wing and connect it into the eyeliner and filling in any gaps. And now I'm gonna just lift in here and get across the entire eye there. Make sure there's no jagged edges and that you're filling in any gaps as you see them. Open. Looking good. And remember, you can always tight line, which basically, go ahead and look down to the floor. And I tight line by filling in the bottom, the top water line. Sorry, go ahead and blink. I know it's totally blinks. It's like the worst. I hate doing it on myself. But especially when you don't have thick lashes to begin with, it's nice to line that bottom edge of your top lash line, that water line on the top. And that's what's going to make it appear like you have thicker lashes already. So now, even without applying her lashes, her eyes are looking very defined.
I'll go out sometimes and I'll just have that. And people ask me, you don't have hair? I'm like, no, you don't have lashes? I go, no, look. And they get up close and they're like,
and then they see it,
yeah,
right?
They're like, you don't even have
It's
lashes.
not noticeable. It's definitely not noticeable. Okay, same on the other side. Go ahead and close. We're just going to go ahead and draw it in, fill in any gaps, fix the wing. And connect it to the rest of the eye. Make sure you're lifting so you can get really deep in there. I'm going to thicken up this outer piece. And another little tip is if it's hard for you to get into the inner corner of the eye, have your client open their eyes and look to the opposite direction. So for example, Rachel, go ahead and open your eyes and look over there. Now it stretches the skin so I can get into the corner of her eye here. I know it tickles. And then go ahead and look in the opposite direction, and now I can get into this corner. So that's just a little trick in case you guys are having a hard time getting in there without jagged edges. Make sure that they can stretch their own eye by looking the opposite direction so you can get in there. Now I'm going to tight line. Let me grab a little bit more product, and then we'll be done with the eyeliner.
Wow.
Cool, huh? Look down, and I'm just going to lift up and tight line here. Filling in any gaps. Okay. There we go. Now time to smooth out the eyeliner with eyeshadow. It's going to smooth out everything, make it look very nice and clean and a little bit smoky. So, and it's not going to make it look this sharp anymore. So we're going to go in with a small smudger brush. I'm going to be using Morphe M515 with the Noir eyeshadow from Anastasia and I. This is the M515 brush from Morphe. Go ahead and look up to the ceiling. First, I'm just going to set the waterline with black eyeshadow. And I'm also going to smudge whatever's left of my brush. I'm smudging it underneath the waterline to kind of create a little bit of a fade there. We're going to do the same on the other side. Setting the waterline. This is what's going to keep it more waterproof. And then we're going to go under and smudge it underneath to create that faded effect. Okay. Now we're ready to add brown underneath the black, so it looks like it's black fading to brown, fading to skin color. So same brush. Actually, I'm going to change the brush to my pencil brush with chocolate eyeshadow. This is the Sigma pencil brush with chocolate eyeshadow. Go ahead and look up. And I'm just going to add this dark brown chocolate eyeshadow below the black, and that creates a little bit more of that smudged effect. Right below the black, and we're giving that smoky smudged effect. Bam. And if you ever experience any type of fallout, please immediately get rid of it before it starts sticking to the skin. So just flick it off. So now that we have this beautifully smudged under eyeliner, we can now add a little bit of a smudging feature on her top eyeliner as well. So we're going to go back to that tiny, tiny smudging brush number 515 from Morphe. Go ahead and close your eyes. And we're going to start smudging that top edge of her top eyeliner to soften it up just a bit. We're using the black eyeshadow to do that. Okay, so now that part is a little bit smudged. We're going to do the same on the other side. A little smudgy on the outer corner. And bringing that eyeshadow in to smudge that whole eyeliner, the top edge. Open. I'm in love. It looks so good. Okay, and oh my god, she doesn't even really need eyelashes at this point. I'm still going to do it anyway because I feel like that's a big part of class. So, officially, the eyeshadow portion is done, and now we can move on to the eyelashes. So I'm going to have her use I just went to the drugstore, I went to Walgreens and picked up this Kiss brand. I just really like the shape of it, I guess. I mean, I have a bunch of eyelashes at home, but I kind of wanted to try something else today, and I found this at the store and thought it would look amazing on her. So this is, the name is Kiss, and the actual name of the lashes is called Ritzy in Natural Black. These lashes. They're very wispy. So before I put these on, let me check on who's the top 3 donors. Who is it? Top 3. Oh my gosh, Mandeep is back to number 1. And second is Marbella123. Well, welcome to the race. And Makeup by Noor. Okay, so this is looking kind of competitive at this point. Let's see who's number 1. Thank you to everybody who's donating. I mean, believe us, every dollar counts. Every single dollar counts. But just to make this a little fun and to give back to our top donors, I am going to be shouting out on my Instagram page the top 3 to 5 donors for this lovely fundraiser that we're having today for the alopecia cause, okay? So let's keep it going. Thank you so much for all of your support. It really, truly means a lot. Now for the lashes. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the lashes with my tweezers and I'm going to test to see that the lash fits her eye shape. So I'm going to have you look down. Oh yeah, it's perfect. I don't have to cut any of it. We're good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glue. The glue I'm going to use is the House of Lashes Latex Free Glue. It's very gentle for sensitive eyes like mine. And also it sticks really fast. It's kind of a sticky formula. It's not very liquidy, so it's not going to run into her eyes. It's going to be very safe to use when you don't have a whole lot of lashes to block the glue from going in. So we are going to apply this. It's a brush strip. We're brushing it right on the base of the lash. I'm putting a little extra on the ends just to make sure that we have enough to stick on so it doesn't just pop up later. And we're going to let it dry for just a little bit, maybe a few seconds. I'm waving it in the air to get it to dry. And once it gets sticky enough, I'm going to pop it right on her lid, and it's going to stay up pretty nicely. But I am going to help keep it up so that it doesn't fall down. Since there's nothing there to weigh it up, we're going to keep it up using my finger. I'm going to keep my finger there to keep it up a little bit longer until it really sets, and then I can work on the other eye. I feel like it's a lot easier when someone else does your lashes than when you do it yourself, but with enough practice, you guys are going to be like pros. Okay, it's sticky. Go ahead and look down. And I just did it center to center. And now I'm popping on the edges. Go ahead and close your eyes. So now that I popped it on, I'm allowing her to close her eyes, and I'm using my finger to keep it lifted so that it doesn't get dry while pointing downward. I need it to point upward. So we're going to keep it lifted while it's drying. And I'm going to fan it so it can lock in place. Go ahead and open. So there we go. We have a gorgeous, gorgeous lash look. And we have lifted it a little bit so that it doesn't get dragged down. So while it's fully drying, I'm just going to keep making sure that I'm lifting it up. Now I can work on the other eye. Okay, we're going to do the same thing, add a nice thin, even layer of glue on our other lash. Again, this is houseoflashes.com lash adhesive. It's latex free, so it's very gentle, but it is very strong hold. So it's going to hold on. I have tested it a lot, and I figured out that it is also water resistant and oil resistant, so it takes a lot of eye makeup remover to peel it off. If you have lashes to begin with, it's going to stick to your lashes, so you got to be careful.
Did you see the video in the last one with the little one? When we got back to her hotel, she like pulled it off.
Oh my god, yes, I did. Oh my gosh. So after I did her makeup the first time, her little one was sitting on her and literally like peeling off her eyelashes, removing her makeup.
Stuck it on herself.
Stuck it on herself. So funny. So we're going to let this get a little tacky. I'm going to make sure this isn't sinking down, so we're going to pop it up.
Yeah, they stuck pretty good that time. When she pulled them, I was like, ow!
Oh, they hurt you? Oh my god!
I pulled them like real fast too. Like a Band-Aid.
Oh my god. You're a rough child.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take the center of these lashes and match it to the center of her eyelid. Stick in the inner corner and stick in the outer corner. Now she can close her eyes. I'm going to make sure it's all stuck in, and I'm going to start picking it up. You want to make sure this doesn't sink down. So we're just going to stroke it up, fan it out, make sure this part's sticking up too. And we're going to fan so it all dries. And while this is drying, let's figure out what we're going to do on our lips. So technically with the lips, I like to match it up to the cheek tone or vice versa. On the cheeks, we did a very nice, soft, peachy glow. So I think I'm going to do that on the lips as well, just to keep it very cohesive. Keep the style looking very nice and balanced. Go ahead and open your eyes. Ooh, yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead and dip in a little bit closer to the camera. And they can see how gorgeous those lashes are sitting. It's very wispy, very multi-dimensional. I love that.
Yes, I love it.
And it's quite thicker than the last one we used.
I found out the hard way how you can get off the glue or glue lashes. Steam and olive oil.
steam and olive oil. So if your eyelashes are super, super stuck, Mama's saying steam and olive oil will lift them off a lot better than ripping them off your face. That's for sure. I believe it. Okay, time for lippy. Mamas do know best. Lippy time. So we're going to do Soar lip liner, and we're going to do Kinda Sexy lipstick, and we're going to do, I want to try the nude Gerard Cosmetics lip gloss on her. It's a nice peachy nude. It's really pretty. So, first things first, we're going to go back to one of our powder brushes and give a nice powdering around the lips just to neutralize.
I think I licked it all off.
Now we're going to go into the lip liner and apply Soar lip liner, S-O-A-R from MAC, all around her natural lip line. And this color is actually very versatile as well. I like multifunctional things. This particular color goes with nudes, pinks, and plums. So I'm just kind of going along her natural lip line here. And then I'll show you guys how to enlarge the lips in a second. So now that I've lined her natural lip line, I'm going to start overlining her top lip a little bit. I don't like to do a whole lot. But what we're going to do is we're going to start with the Cupid's bow by doubling up the liner. So now that I've already created the regular lip liner based on her natural lip shape, I'm now doubling it up and adding another layer right over it, right above it basically. I'm going to fill in the outer corner as well. So we're doing all of this lovely lining here. We're going to raise it up a bit. To balance both sides. And now we're going to fill in the outer corners of the bottom lip. Okay, nice and full. So now we're going to fill it in with the lipstick. I'm going to use Kinda Sexy by MAC. One of my favorite colors. It's this one right here. And I'm just using a generic lip brush from Michael's Art Supply. I just like the shape of it, so I use it for the lips. In case you guys want it, it's it's kind of random. It's from Low Cornell, one of the main brush suppliers at Michael's, and the number is 270-1/4. So 270-1/4 is the name of this brush. So I'm just filling up the lip with this lipstick. And now we're going to use, another cool trick I want to show you guys. Using Myth from MAC, this is the lightest color, Myth. I'm going to add this on the center of the lips. And that's going to give more of a nudie tone as well as making the center of the lips look more plump. So it's kind of like a 3D ombre effect that we're doing right now. Adding this nude right on the center and then fading it into the corners. Bam! Cool. So now for the lip gloss, I have a few different colors that we could use. These are my top 3 favorite pinky nudes. So I have a pinky nude called Buttercream from Gerard Cosmetics. I have one called Nude Nude, which is a peachy nude, which is kind of more of matching her cheekbones here. And then I have Spring Fling. Now because her lips have a lot of color in them, we could actually do either one and it's still going to blend with her cheeks. But I think I want to stick with the nude, just so you guys can see how pretty that is. Also, if you guys want to purchase anything from GerardCosmetics.com or Whitening Lightning, it's a light, yeah. So there's a light.
Or the dark bathrooms when you can't see
exactly. Clubs and dark bathrooms. This is where it's at.
That's so cute.
It is super cute.
I was like, your hand's glowing. Hold on a second.
You're like, where did that light come from? Where's the spotlight? It's called Color Your Smile Gloss. And so, yeah, it does have a light inside. And my coupon code for this is DYF on GerardCosmetics.com.
I'm just going to add this nude all across the lips. Just for a nice little brightening up. And there we go! Ah! It looks so good. Okay, Rachel, go ahead and pose for the camera. Everybody out there, go ahead and take your screenshots. We want to show you some love too, so go ahead and post the pictures that you're seeing from class today. If you want to take some pictures right now, we're posing for you. And and you can post your pictures and use the hashtag #DressYourFaceLive so I can go and see that and show you some love by liking your pictures and bringing some traffic to your page, get your business kick started and all that goodness. And of course, we are now nearing the Q&A session portion of this class, and during this whole time, I want you to keep trying your hardest to get your friends and yourself to donate as much as you can, as much as you're able to. Press the donate button on DressYourFaceLive.com. If you're logged in and watching this on DressYourFaceLive.com, go to the members area, go to the live tutorial area so you can view the live stream from there in case you're viewing it somewhere else. And right around us is the donate button, so you guys can very easily donate, one-click donation, very easy. And try your hardest to let your friends know, let your family know. I told my whole family, everyone donated. My mom, my grandparents, my aunts from Houston donated. Like, everyone's donating, and it's such a beautiful story how Rachel, and I found each other, and how Rachel has been struggling in the past and now accepting and feeling very, like she's put on earth for a purpose. And this is something, that chose her, and she chose to turn it into a very positive thing in her and her family's life. And now she's spreading awareness and spreading education to all to help her daughter, who's also experiencing the same exact thing. Alopecia is a very mysterious condition. We don't have a whole lot of answers, but we do know that we can help by donating to the Children's Alopecia Project. And really help our next generation to overcome any setbacks in their life due to this